This is Hello Glass with another glass artist interview. What is your name and are you a glass artist?
My name is Lisa St. Martin, and yes, I am a glass artist.
How long have you been making glass and you consider yourself a master?
I've been working hot glass for, I think, 38 years. I don't think that you can ever master glass because it's always changing. There's always so many new things to try. So I'm fairly good at what I do. I would love to be better.
Your favorite style or type of glass to create with?
Well, I'm a flame worker and I work a lot in soft glass. And I love to work with Dipro and silver glass and all kinds of fun things. So right now, that's my major glass that I work in is soft glass on the torch.
What state do you call home for your glass shop?
I live in Virginia, the Commonwealth. It's not a state.
Do you own or work under a glass brand or an art name?
Just kind of Lisa St. Martin Glass, St. Martin Studios.
Does the studios have a website?
It doesn't right now, unfortunately, because we're just changing servers, so it's down, but it's usually glassbeads.com, and which hopefully will be up soon.
Do you make your living solely off glassworking?
I do.
If you could blow glass or collab with anyone living, who would that be?
Oh goodness, there's so many really fun folks out there. I'd probably love to play with some of, the furnace blowers or the Boro folks, because I'm not as familiar with that. I started out as a furnace blower, but it's been a lot of years since I've had access to a furnace. So there's lots of good ones, fun ones out there.
What style or technique in glass is hardest for you?
Right now a lot of Boro work because I've been kind of expanding that way with some hard glass. So, working with Boro tubing, and it's just, I haven't allowed myself to spend enough time. So that's kind of what my focus is going to be over the next 6 months, is to really play with Boro more, and especially some sculptural pieces that I have in my brain trying to get out, that's Boro tubing.
Name 2 people that taught or influenced your glass skills.
Well, I did my apprenticeship back in 1976 with John Meyer. He's not working glass any longer, but he was a furnace blower that opened one of the first studio glass blowing shops in North America, and it was right outside of Corning. And that's how I learned how to blow glass all that time ago. So I definitely say him. The other would be Linda Honeycutt, who lives in North Carolina now. But at the time that I worked with her, she was in Columbus, and she's probably the first American flame work bead teacher. And we lived near each other and just kind of, I kind of mentored under her when I started doing flame working, probably in the mid-80s.
Is there any style or technique of glass that you would or will learn in the future?
Well, like I said, I want to work on working with some more Boro. Starting out as a furnace worker, I'm used to working on larger pieces, which is kind of one of the reasons why my beads are so big. So I'm wanting to kind of move on to making some larger sculptural pieces. I've been doing a lot of metalworking, fold forming and forging copper and iron, and incorporating that into some of my sculptural pieces. So Boro really works with the other metal materials.
Name 2 glass artists that impress you.
Well, I've always loved Lawrence Dump, and we used to laugh because our kids were like the same age, and I talked to him and his kids were screaming in the background and my kids were screaming in the background. So he was a really good person 20 years ago that I spent a lot of time talking about when we both started doing flame working and making beads. One more person, huh? Kevin O'Grady, I think, is amazing. I met Kevin over breakfast at the very first Society of Glass Bead Makers conference in Prescott, Arizona in 1992. And we just became fast friends, and I have a really nice collection of his bracelets and his really early Marini beads. The first, when he was starting to make Marini out of boro. So he made one special for me, and we've just been good friends and see each other like once or twice a year at the most. So I love his work.
What style or technique in glass amazed you when you first saw it?
I think just some of the skill level that folks have working with it. You know, I've spent a lot of my time lately with flame workers and bead makers, and you know, there's just in such a small scale to get such intricacy and beauty is just amazing. But I also like to see great big blown pieces, and some of the stuff that some of the folks working in boro. I was lucky to be a judge when they had the big invitational glass blowing tournament here a few years ago, and that was really fun to watch all those guys and ladies working, you know, with boro and making such amazing things. It was really fun.
Worst injury you ever got making glass art?
You know, I've been really fortunate that I've really not ever cut myself or burned myself that have ever really needed medical attention. But probably the most exciting one was when my mom was visiting. My studio at home is really tiny. It's the closet under the stairs, and there's just not room. And she was looking at all the stuff on my table, picking up things while I was working on torch. And a piece I had been working on for 3 hours got too cold because I was so worried about her burning herself. And when I took it back to the flame, it exploded and landed right between my legs and set my chair on fire, and I couldn't go anywhere because the wall was on one side and my mom was on the other. So I'm standing in the chair while there's flames coming up through it. Luckily I was wearing jeans, but I ruined my chair and did a pretty good job on my rear end too. So that was probably the best one. But
What do you wish to accomplish in the glass industry?
I would like to accomplish just some of the goals that I've set. You know, I've been working so long, and I just find glass so fascinating. There's so many different things that I want to try and do, but you know, right now I'm looking to work a little bit, you know, in more sculptural pieces, because I've been working on kind of a small scale, even though they're huge beads, small scale for me, that I'd like to kind of really expand some of my more, you know, like bigger and more freeform designs.
How does a glass fan get a hold or get to buy your work?
You know, it's easy to kind of track me down. I mean,
Etsy account?
I don't really have that stuff. I've been working at an art center that had a huge gallery there, and I moved my studio home. So, you know, the best thing is just to send me an email. And Facebook and all.
What's your
kinds of
Facebook?
It's just Lisa St. Martin.
Cool. What's your email?
Lisa@workhouseglass.com. So I used to be at the Workhouse Art Studio. So, but you can definitely find me there,
Nice.
and it's all good.
You got 3 minutes to tell the world whatever you want. Go for it.
Basically, because I work with a lot of family members that are very involved in security and homeland security things, that I'd like the rest of the world to just get their crap in gear and be responsible, take care of their people, and not feel that they need to poach on anyone else. Just live life, raise your kids, be happy.
This was Hello Glass with another Real Glass Artist interview. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.